Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey, happy National No Housework Day, everybody. It is April 7th.
I like that.
And just because it's No Housework Day, I think we should all celebrate. So welcome to the next episode of the Big Daily Blend podcast with Nancy and Lisa. We are the Crazy Mother-Daughter Travel Team, documenting parks and public lands across the country while we publish magazines. Nancy, you've been feverishly, I say, working on Vacation Station magazine. That's the next one coming out next week.
It's coming out.
It's looking good.
Done.
Europe is in there.
Yeah.
Big bunch of Europe, from Scandinavia,
all over the place, man.
Ireland, Scotland, England. We've got Cape Town, Jordan. All kinds of places across the country.
It's around the world.
It's a bumper issue.
Yep.
That's coming out next week. So everyone, if you go to blendradioandtv.com, sign up for our newsletter. You'll get it in your email box.
And that's very cool. And while you're there, just have a look at the websites, listen to podcasts, and don't do any housework.
Yeah, don't do housework. Oh, yeah, play a podcast.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, man.
Yeah.
You got it. We love doing this show because it looks back at what has happened in history, what can we celebrate today, and it just brings back memories of things we may have forgotten, and also that we may take for granted.
Right.
Today, we don't take housework for granted.
But we just don't want to do it.
We don't want to do it. So I like that holiday. Today is also Good Friday, the Friday before Easter that commemorates the crucifixion of Jesus Christ in the Christian faith. So that's what it is for all those celebrating Easter this weekend. We wish you a happy Easter.
How did that evolve into Easter eggs?
I don't know. I don't want to get into it because someone will send us some kind of email saying something. But we do like our chocolate Easter eggs.
Yes, we do.
We do. We do like the jelly beans. We need jelly beans.
Remember Cadbury's?
Yes. Cadbury's eggs. Listen, the ones in England were really good, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm talking about.
Today is International Beaver Day. We're very excited about this because Nancy and I love beavers. They are keystone species in our ecosystem.
They're so cute.
Really, this day became, and it was a nonprofit organization called Beavers, Wetlands, and Wildlife that started this holiday back in 2009. These are members between the U.S. and Canada and some other countries trying to bring them back because of their positive impact on the ecosystem.
Where were we? We just drove through a place where we saw the beaver homes on the ice.
That was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
On our way from Wisconsin to Texas where we are.
I've never seen that
We're
before.
in Lubbock, Texas. I haven't seen any beavers in Lubbock, but we did go through the town Beaver, Oklahoma, and they have sand dunes, and they had all these pond areas where we thought we also saw beaver dams. We're not sure. But we did see the comeback of the beaver in Yuma, Arizona, when they restored the lower Colorado River. The beavers came back, and we filmed the beavers, and they're so cute. Beavers are incredible. We've done interviews. In fact, I will put that in the show notes. We did an interview about beavers and with these famous film, like National Geographic videographers, and we will put that up in the show notes. So check out the show notes. That's always important on this show because we play music according to what's happened in history. And so the way to play the music is to go to the playlist. And it's actually, they're always eclectic. We let history and today's celebrations dictate the list, really.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
So it's fun. So check that out. We do the playlist on Spotify and YouTube. But I don't have a song for the beaver, but maybe next year we will. But I want to say that today is also, it's National Girl Me Too Day. How many of us as women, dude, this happened, and they're like, girl, me too. This happened to me, whether it's a bad hair day, a breakup, a boss being annoying, whatever it is, or someone, but this is really about women coming together to build on strength, right? And to be stronger, and also the endurance of women. So, first song of the day is Girl on Fire. Girl On Fire by Alicia Keys.
Cool.
This girl is on fire.
Yeah,
right?
Alicia Keys is amazing.
She really is. And she does a lot for women and for girls.
Yeah,
And I think
she's amazing.
That's the thing, is if we can foster that unity between young girls, that really helps. So from younger ages all the way, because women are really powerful and strong, but man, can we be catty sometimes?
Oh, yeah, you can
wanna
go
be
the other
catty.
way. You
Don't
could
do that.
Don't do that. No, we don't want to.
No.
Kittens are nice. Cats are not that nice.
But today is also National Coffee Cake Day. And as Nancy and I are sitting here with our coffee, we're going, we want some coffee cake. Where?
I'm going to make some.
Yeah, it's, you know what? It's really a coffee cake. It's kind of like tea and scones. It's about, don't just, swallow your tea and coffee. I mean, that could be hard when it's hot. But it's about sitting together with friends and enjoying the libation. And coffee cake slows you down.
Sometimes you can make coffee cake with chocolate chips in it. It's good.
I used to make coffee cake all the time. And today's recipe of the day, and it's in the show notes, is fluffy blueberry cake. And this is from best-selling Belgian culinary author Pascal Nossens. It's in her book, Pure and Simple, A Natural Food Way of Life. And we've got her interview there, too, so you can listen to our interview with her. This is a recipe we've kept on our site for quite a few years. I mean, she shows that you can enjoy the goodness of life and still be healthy.
Right. And blueberries are good
Europeans
for you.
know about lingering and conversation at the table. They're chilled out and they're healthier.
They're not in a rush like this country where everybody's in a rush all the time.
I think blueberries are a good idea. They're very good for you. And depending on where you are in the country, they're coming back to... Yes.
Get some fresh ones. Go out
so
in the
excited to
wilderness, pick some blueberries, make sure they're really blueberries.
Remember we did the hike with Steve and Karen, our friends from the Lion and the Rose Bed and Breakfast in Asheville. We went on a hike in Pisgah National Forest. Was it on Stewart's Knob? And there was meadows of wildflowers and butterflies, and I can't even tell you how magical it was. But as we're hiking, there's just blueberries, wild blueberries, and you can eat them. And I'm like, just like take a few steps, eat a few berries, and they say watch out for the purple berries. We didn't. We enjoyed the purple berries. And we're still here. All right, it's also National Beer Day.
Oh, well, now people are going to partake in that.
Well, I mentioned this on yesterday's podcast that, it was National Beer Day's Eve, because apparently the beer makers couldn't wait for National Beer Day.
Well, you have to ferment.
Well, this is why, because National Beer Day signifies something very important.
Oh.
Not only are we thinking about, celebrating beer, which is the world's most widely consumed alcoholic beverage. Following water and beer, it's the third most popular drink overall.
Wow.
They're saying out of the world's oldest prepared beverages, beer possibly dates back to 9500 BC.
So how'd they make it back then?
That's when cereal was first farmed. So were we putting beer in our cereal? But anyway, they're thinking it's recorded. It's recorded in written history way back in ancient Iraq and ancient Egypt. But this National Beer Day starts back in 1933 when President Franklin Roosevelt took the step towards saying this is enough of prohibition. He signed a law that allowed people to brew and sell beer in the U.S., but so long as it remained below 4%. I know anybody knows about craft brewers. They're not playing with the 4%.
There's not a 4%.
But there is a big movement to have lower alcohol percentage
you can get near
on
beer.
Everything. A lot of people are doing low percent just because they don't want the alcohol intake. But wine,
they want the taste.
Yeah, the taste. But so our article of the day is really a podcast. It is with the film director of Brewmance. It's a documentary showing how craft home brewers go professional and how this love of beer brews bonds and friendship and family.
Well, it's nice.
Yeah. It's a great podcast documentary, by the way. You should watch it. Brewmance. If you love beer, you must watch Brewmance. And that's what I was saying. This is the friendship and people going through things together. There's ups and downs when you're crafting something, then you're still working with nature and science. And then, of course, there's legalities and all that stuff, red tape. And anytime you do anything with alcohol, they might as well just hand you a big vat of red tape. Okay. Quite frankly, here. And then you're going to go, I want a beer, but I really want to make beer.
And it's really
so
for your own good.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, so Nancy, you picked the song, One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer by George Thorogood. You love George Thorogood.
I do. I absolutely do.
So this is about a guy drinking away his sorrows.
Well, and that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Well, you didn't listen to This Girl's on Fire, did you, by Alicia Keys?
Yes, I did.
So anyway, no, I'm just saying. So, the guy drinks his sorrows away, but he starts with one bourbon, one scotch, and then ends with a beer going, dude, it's all good.
Yeah.
You got to chill out. All right, some historic happenings today. The metric system was invented.
Whoopee.
1795.
Whoopee.
Get your yardstick out. Oops, no, not a yardstick.
No.
I don't see.
I don't know.
1827. This is cool. The English chemist John Walker invented wooden matches. Listen, how many of us are barbecuing?
Come on.
And when
That
stuff goes
was
down,
smart.
it is smart. I mean,
That
we can
was
have lighters, you can have all those little flickety flick things, but eventually the battery can go out, and a wooden
you need
match.
a match.
Honest to gosh, when back in the day, there's nothing like just striking a match and lighting a fire. There's a sound, there's a connectivity
he was
to it.
Smart.
Yeah, because you can burn your fingers on the match. So anyway, his name is John Walker. He's a chemist, and he sold his first friction match, is what they called them,
Friction.
that he invented the previous year. So this was back in 1827, but he made his first sale on this date, April 7th, 1827.
Good for
So
him.
we want to play the song from our friend Shelley King. She's an awesome musician based out of Austin, Texas. So check her out at shelleyking.com. First lady of music of the state. Yep. She was the first woman to be put as a state musician.
That's awesome.
For Texas.
Good for her.
And she's good. And so we first met her with her album Building a Fire.
She lit the fire.
I wouldn't mess with Shelley. Oh, because she's fun. Every time she comes on the show, we talk about cooking. I don't know what happens. Goes from music and Lee Von Helm to cooking.
Yeah.
Because she does. She recorded in Lee Von Helm's barn. She records with Amy Helm too. But Building a Fire is where we first met her on her album. And so, of course, the title track is on the playlist. Oh, I hope you enjoy it because she's building a fire.
She is.
1940 saw the United Nations establishing the World Health Organization.
Oh, wow.
And then also on the same day, Booker T. Washington, who we were talking about yesterday, it was his birthday yesterday, the educator, became the very first African American to be put on a United States postal stamp.
How about that?
I didn't know he was the first one. I thought it was Harriet Tubman, but apparently no, it was him.
Huh.
He did a lot regarding schools, Tuskegee, entrepreneurship. He did a lot. And crossing over the lines, I think that's important. So America, we did a lot back on this day in history in regards to our westward expansion, which some people say is really bad because we did do nasty things to the indigenous people. So there's that. Look, history is always controversial. Don't blame us for them. Don't kick the messengers. We didn't do it, but I always think that, as we travel, we travel on road trip across the country, right? We travel full time and people road trip, and a lot of people travel full time, but that's not the point. The point is, when you can pay respect to the indigenous people, do.
Absolutely.
At least try to learn the history, have some respect, and really get to understand what happened in history. And it's sad. At the same time, we can do things better. We can learn from history, right? You always say that, Nancy.
Yeah, you learn from history, and the idea is to make space for all people and not have 1 or 2 or 6 or a tiny percentage hoard everything for themselves.
Yeah. Let's
make space for everybody.
It's Good Friday. I'm going to go on a rant if you start talking like that.
Well, no, because that
means it for big corporations,
I always think that the ones who hoard are full of fear, and they're insecure, so they hoard stuff.
Okay, well that's okay. So when you look at Native American people here, they were peaceful. They helped the Pilgrims with food, and here we come.
Absolutely.
And they were like, okay, now we're going to round you up, cut your hair off, put you in schools,
I know.
kill
What's
you.
up with that?
It was fear because the Indians were, to them, savages. And like, oh, we've never seen anything like this. We must kill you.
That was, yeah.
Anyway, life is like that around the world. This history has been, and then obviously there's slavery.
Don't that. I mean, we owe, as humans, we owe apologies for those who went before us, and hopefully, out of history, you learn not to repeat.
Yes.
The bad stuff.
And we still have slavery today. All right, so that's enough of the bad news on a Friday. American pioneers to the Northwest Territory arrived at the confluence of the Ohio and Muskingum rivers, establishing Marietta, Ohio. You and I have actually been out there.
Yeah.
This becomes the very first permanent American settlement of the new United States in the Northwest Territory, opening the westward expansion of the new country. This happened in 1788.
Wow.
10 years later, the Mississippi Territory was organized from disputed territory, claimed by both the United States and Spain. Now, let's just remind everybody, Spain, well, they were pretty hardcore too in our country. And then England and Spain were having wars. Sir Francis Drake and his Royal Hind.
Everybody was going for new territories.
That's exactly. It's like, we're going to claim it. We've got this, you know. Anyway, that's what happened. So the Mississippi Territory was formed 1798. It expanded in 1804 and then again in 1812, which of course then the War of 1812 was going on. We're not historians. We're just reading this stuff. But we do remember from all of our guests on our Big Blend radio shows. Speaking of history, today, and that kind of thing, today's Big Blend radio show, we have shows, main interviews, and panel discussions that air every day at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch it at bigblendradio.com as well as this podcast. And today is photographer Jim Schlett, who was the National Parks Arts Foundation Artist in Residence. Cool. Who was in Gettysburg. We've had him on the show numerous times. He's kind of like a veteran in being an artist in residence in national parks. But the National Parks Arts Foundation is so cool that you could be in any genre, whether you're a songwriter, a poet, a dancer, filmmaker, a photographer, a painter. I mean, you could be crocheting, right? And you can apply to be an artist in residence through them. They have Fort Union up in northern New Mexico, Chaco Canyon also in northern New Mexico, Dry Tortugas National Park, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. These awesome parks. You can apply to be a resident for a full month. It's amazing.
So cool. Think about it.
And so Jim did Gettysburg with them, and now he just did Fort Union, which is known as Fort Windy. So that's the interview of today, and that's our park of the day. We always like to do our park of the day because, we went there finally. We've had Lorenzo, the superintendent, on our shows over the years. We finally got to meet him. It was kind of towards the end of the pandemic. It was still, the visitor center was closed and everything because of the pandemic, but it is windy, but it was such the history of...
But it's so Old West landscapey. I mean, if you want the real feeling of the West...
Yeah.
It's a cool place to go.
Well, no, and it's huge in regards, it's like, it is the crossroads of history in the Southwest. It is part of, Fort Windy is part of, I call it Fort Windy. It was the largest frontier military post and supply center of the Southwest. It was a hub of commerce. So like these forts are like cities, you know? And it was also part of the final stretch of the Santa Fe Trail.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's a huge monument. So that's our park of the day because we want to honor Fort Windy.
Do you know how many people pass through there? Wow.
And you didn't even get to meet him.
No.
Anyway, so our song of the day for that is Against the Wind by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band.
Oh,
makes sense.
Awesome.
Makes sense.
Good choice.
But let's go back again. Go back to the West, okay? And I want to bring up. You brought it to my attention, Nancy. That today is Lewis and Clark in 1805 left Fort Mandan on the Missouri River, which is now where Washburn, North Dakota is, and began their journey went to the Northwest, to the Pacific Ocean, is where they were going. And we went all through the Northwest where they were. And I would like to we have to do a trail map. We have to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's really,
They went everywhere.
The history of the Lewis and Clark. I don't know if you've watched the Ken Burns film, a documentary on them. I think he did a good job on that. But anyway, I found the song Lewis and Clark by Tommy Emmanuel. William Thomas Emmanuel he's an Australian guitarist and regarded as one of the greatest acoustic guitarists of all time.
Wow.
And he's very percussive, and he's doing percussion with his hands at the same time as here's my finger picking. But it's such a beautiful song, don't you think? Mm-hmm. So that is added to the playlist. Again, show notes, link to the park, the interviews we're talking about for Fort Windy. That's again in the show notes, whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, Acast, you name it. It's all there in the show notes. Sports and games, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's World Marbles Day. Come on, as kids, did you play marbles, Nancy?
Yeah. My brother, Ricky, and I used to play marbles all the time. And he cheated.
Okay, and you'd knock the marbles, right?
Yeah, you'd flick them this is how we played. He would make a circle in the dirt, put the marbles on the ground, and then you had one colors of marbles, and he had the other side, and then you'd put them out in the center and flick them at each other with your forefinger and your thumb like that.
Oh.
And then, I know, it did used to hurt. And then see if you could hit, let me see, if I remember correctly, you had to hit one of your own marbles to hit one of the other person's marbles to get it on the other side. That's the game we played. Well, that's what I don't know if that's how you really play marbles.
I don't know, but it apparently, I like the actual marbles because to me it's like blown glass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have friends like Gemma who makes glass beads and stuff. So to me, marbles are
they're pretty.
I just go, man, these are psychedelic.
Yeah,
dude.
they're cool.
They're psychedelic. Kids would just you trade marbles for ones that you thought were the coolest design.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's a girly thing. I don't know. But today is World Marbles Day. It's observed every year on Good Friday. And it commemorates the first British Marbles Championship that took place in England in 1588.
Wow. See, I always think of marbles being a forerunner to like a pool table.
Yeah. I mean, they were competing for the hand of a milkmaid in Tinsley Green.
So they got down in the dirt and flicked marbles?
Two young guys that wanted to date her did a marble off for the girl.
Wow.
And whoever won would win her fair hand. Did she get a say in this? Anyway.
I don't know. And then they came up with marble.
Now it has become an annual championship, and it still takes place on this day in Tinsley Green, England. And teams from other parts of the world travel to England to participate in the game.
I want to watch it again.
Dude, it's cool. So, all right.
I want to see it.
I want to see it too. We have to ask Glenn about this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, marbles I always thought was a kid thing, but I did not know this tradition was going on for so long. All right, so then, I'm going, what are we going to play for music for marbles, right? You lost your marbles, you know what I mean? How they always say that?
Yeah.
I found Carla Santana and Buddy Miles live.
Wow.
What a duo. It is insanely cool. It's live. It's called Marbles. It's in the playlist, and you must check it out.
You have to check it out.
It is. I mean, I told you they're psychedelic, right? Marbles, and this has got that psychedelic blues that just keeps amping up and amping up and amping up. Yeah, it's good. More sports and games history today is the birth anniversary of Walter Camp. He was born in 1859, known as the father of American football.
Oh, wow.
He played an integral role in molding the sport into the game athletes play today. They say from the line of scrimmage to the creation of the quarterback, he played, coached, and developed rules valuable to establishing a lasting competitive sport.
Wow.
Also in sports history, we've got to give a shout out to John McGraw, the Hall of Fame baseball player. He was born on this day in 1873. And Anthony Drew Dorsett, Hall of Fame football player, born on this day in 1954. So, of course, we got to go to Queen.
Yeah.
We Will Rock You. I think that's a song that should play, even for Marble Day, man, we should play We Will Rock. Now, see, I want to see if they'd play Carlos Santana and Buddy Miles at Marble Day with marbles.
Yeah.
And if they would play, or do they have to have perfect silence like in chess?
I don't know.
Lawn sports were big in England and South
I've
Africa.
never seen a professional marble game.
Here, in the States, if you say you want to go bowling, you go inside and play the bowling, knock down the pins.
Yeah.
If you say bowling in South Africa, most of the time it's a lawn bowling.
Lawn bowling.
Yeah, and it's like a big form.
That's a big marble.
Big balls compared to little balls for
Hello.
bocce ball. Bocce is
Hello.
like, here's my little balls. Anyway, moving on to TV news and communication. I know, sorry, I had to. Today is known as International Snail Papers Day.
Snail paper?
Newspapers. I'm sorry, we come from print magazine backgrounds. I mean, that's how we
we
started
did
our
the
magazine.
best
Now
we
we're
could.
digital. And newspapers,
Yeah.
to this day, there are still newspapers printed. And, we pet sit as we travel the country, and sometimes people still have newspapers delivered. And by the way, people, if you go away, do not have your newspapers delivered and pile up. People will know your house is empty. It's not good. But to get the feel of the newspaper, smell the ink, I don't know where the newspaper's been. I know it's kind of stinky, but there's something cool
But
about
you know
it.
what's cool about it? Sitting around having coffee and reading a newspaper.
With coffee cake.
Yeah, with coffee cake and coffee. And you've got the paper and you're kind of blocked off because it's big and wide. You're blocked off from the rest of the world. You've got this paper shield around you that says, "Leave me alone, I'm reading the paper." As opposed to a computer screen.
Yeah, I agree.
And they had nice photos in there. Yeah.
I'm into the newspaper.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think things are coming back in print. I'm seeing more magazines come out, very subscription-based, quality-based. Like Cook's Illustrated is such a good magazine.
Because it's so much easier to read than a computer screen.
Sorry. I mean, we do digital magazines, but the way we have such an international readership, it would be impossible for us as a small magazine now to do what we do now. And we reach literally millions with what we're doing. Thank you, audience, for that. But yeah, I mean, I just have this...
I think there's place for both.
Yes, I agree. In 1600, the very first real newspaper in the world was created. It followed the creation of the printing press. The very first real newspaper in the world was published in Germany.
Oh.
So it's 1600s. I mean, come on.
Gutenberg.
1913 is the date the first crossword puzzle, the first crossword puzzle happened. It actually came out on Sunday, December 21st in the New York World newspaper.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is cool. Public TV Day happens today.
Ooh.
And this is because it was the very first public television broadcast happened in 1927 from Washington, D.C. to New York City, displaying the image of Commerce Secretary Herbert Hoover. So they did some kind of transmission. Here's his photo. It's like, hey. Hi, I'm the Hoover dude.
I'm Herbert.
Wasn't he the FBI dude too, or is that Eisenhower? I get him twirled around. I don't know. Don't just dismiss that. Delete. No, delete. No, who was he? He was the FBI guy. I'm gonna have to look it up. But anyway, I think that is. I mean, when you think 1927, TVs were still just at the beginning, right?
Yeah. I don't think they were out yet.
Yeah, he also served as the first director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I wasn't nuts. Okay, I know my history. Yep, I just doubt myself. See, you shouldn't do it. Girl, I do that too. I do that too. All right, so it is also the birth of the internet, the symbolic birth date for the internet.
How about
this?
That?
Is
That's
remember
amazing.
the military had the internet, right? It was known as the publication of RFC1. What date do you think this happened, Nancy?
No idea.
Come on, give a wild guess. 1969. 1969. We knew about the internet. Amazing.
Okay, I'm trying to think back because
Yeah, I mean you're hot to trot at that time.
I was in high school.
She's still hot to trot.
Yeah, but I don't remember the internet when I was in high school.
You weren't in high school. I'm just saying. You were just a little bit older than that, just a few years. But anyway, yeah, they knew about the internet. And they were starting then with big computers and things like that. So remember those big machine computers would take up the entire room.
Rooms, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so no, Nancy was hot to trot. You were leaving high school. She still is. She's still hot to trot. Walter Winchell was born on this day, the broadcaster and journalist, in 1897.
Yep.
He was a broadcaster, so thinking about all of that. Sir David Frost, the broadcaster and TV host, was born on this day in 1939. So the music we put today is a song that we didn't really know. Well, there's two. One is The Sun Always Shines on TV by a-ha. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Talk about when I was in high school. Do we say that now when we turn the TV on? The news is so bad that I go, The Sun Always Shines on TV. I would like to have that again. But I think it goes also to our addiction of TV. When TV first came out and things were changing, I mean...
There's always more good news than bad.
We just have to...
Unfortunately, the bad news always comes first.
And we also have more options now. So we have more options of we can go delete. I want to watch this, But anyway, I have to give a shout out to a-ha because they made it as a band. They really put themselves on the line to become a band. So we've got The Sun Always Shines on TV for a-ha to signify public broadcasting on TV. And from when we think about the news, there's a song, Newspaper Wife by Vonda Shepard. She is an American singer, songwriter, music director, actor. You may have seen her as a cast member of Ally McBeal. She received a Screen Actors Guild Award for that in 1999, plus 2 additional nominations. Also, a Billboard Award for selling the most television soundtrack albums in history.
Wow.
At that time.
That's
for Ally McBeal. Ally McBeal rocked, man.
Yeah, that was
I haven't seen anything with Calista Flockhart in years, and she was amazing. I loved Ally McBeal. So anyway, we got to play Newspaper Wife, and that's by Vonda Shepard, again, in the playlist in the show notes, so check those links out. Quote of the day. We love this. We put this up on our Facebook group, our Big Blend community, and on Twitter at Big Blend Mag every day. William Wordsmith. I can't say it. I want to say Wordsmith.
Wordsworth.
You can't say it. William Wordsworth was born on this day, the poet, in 1770. He was known for being an English romantic poet, and with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, helped to launch the Romantic Age in English literature with their joint publication, Lyrical Ballads. He was born April 7th, 1770 in Cockermouth, England. He died in Rydal, Mount and Gardens, Rydal, United Kingdom, April 23, 1850. It's always interesting to me about some people they were born like Merle Haggard yesterday was his birthday. He was born and died on his birthday.
That's weird.
I mean, obviously you're born on your birthday, but
that's
to die on your birthday, it's weird.
Maybe it's a plan.
No, not with him. Not with Merle. Well, unless it was like a, woo-woo plan from the,
Well, I mean that.
But yeah, I mean, to even be in the same vicinity of your birth date, it's like the full cycle.
It's called I'm done now.
Yeah, Wordsworth was poet laureate from 1843 until his death, when he died from pleurisy.
Pleurisy, that's like pneumonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all had these fancy words back then.
Yeah, consumption.
Now we just call it COVID. Like, here, you got COVID.
I don't know.
What you got? You got COVID.
Yeah.
I've had a cough for 10 months.
You got
the COVID. You got the COVID. The COVID. All right, so the quote of the day is from William Wordsworth. And that's a good name for him. Isn't that weird? Mm-hmm. So, that's weird. Like you're talking about predestiny, right?
Yeah.
Wisdom is oftentimes nearer when we stoop than when we soar. And I couldn't agree more.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, in so many levels, when you just keep...
You would think it'd be the opposite.
No, because when you're up, you think you know everything. But when you're struggling, that's when your lessons come. And when you think about stooping versus soaring, it's like Are you helping people up? Are you helping, or are you,
But then
up in your mighty
aren't
castle?
you looking down and going, dude, look at
I know, but if you're on the ground, right? So this goes between
Wow, that's
TV and reality.
interesting.
So yeah, it's one of those good quotes that you can chew on for a while.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right, we're going to music, stage, and screen.
Cool.
1949, on this day, April 7th, we see the musical South Pacific opening on Broadway. Its critical success leads to 10 Tony Awards.
Bally
Yesterday, we
High.
talked about the birth of the Tony Awards. And then here it is. So Bally High.
Yeah,
of
it's a
course,
big song.
Peggy Lee is added into the playlist with her singing Bally High. Oh, man, Lady Day. It's her birthday today. Billie Holiday was born in 1915. She's an American jazz singer, rose to stardom in the 1930s, singing with Duke Ellington and saxophonist Lester Young.
Awesome.
It was Lester who gave her the nickname Lady Day. And of course, there's also her autobiography everyone knows, Lady Sings the Blues. She had a really rough childhood and started singing in Harlem and nightclubs. She got hurt by the producer John Hammond, who liked her voice. They signed a record contract with Brunswick in 1935. And then it just started snowballing. She had so much success, but then she also had legal troubles, some drug abuse. She had a little prison sentence that happened.
Ooh, whoopsie.
She came back, though, and performed after prison.
Wow.
Performed a sold-out concert at Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
Very successful in the 50s. She did 2 more shows at Carnegie Hall, and but then her voice changed, and so her final recordings, people are like, I don't know. But she has won 4 Grammy Awards, obviously past her passing, for Best Historical Album. She was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame and National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, though not really in that genre. They say that she changed jazz forever. She was a change maker.
She did it her way.
So many movies have been made about her, and since it's April, and she was born in April, we're playing the song in the playlist, the music playlist, April in Paris. I hope you enjoy that.
That's cool.
Another birthday, Francis Ford Coppola. He was born in 1939 on this date. He's an award-winning director, writer, and producer. Come on, through the 60s and 70s, the Godfather series, also Apocalypse Now, Patton. He's done a
ton.
Jackie Chan was born on this day in 1954.
He's done amazingly.
Dude, he's been in over 150 films, dude.
Whoa.
Come on. He is a martial artist, right? He was born in Victoria Peak in Hong Kong as Chen Kong Sung. And he began his career as a child actor in Bruce Lee films.
Wow.
And since then, became a stuntman, a filmmaker. He's all done action movies. Rush Hour, The Karate Kid, come on. So, of course, we thought we've got to add to the playlist The Moment of Truth by Survivor, which is from the soundtrack of Karate Kid.
There you go.
Come on, who doesn't? I'm going to rewatch Karate Kid.
I
know they've got the second one out, but I want to go. I don't know. I always get nervous about when it's that. We have to just do 1 and then 2 back to back and see how we feel about it.
Okay.
I think so. Don't you think?
Why not?
I mean, you remember I was in school when that came out. Remember all of us running around trying to do the kicks?
Oh, I know. They're so funny.
The pose and the kick. The pose.
And the hands.
Yeah, wax on, wax off. Percy Faith, the composer and musician, was also born on this day in 1908.
Awesome.
1920 sees the birth of Ravi Shankar.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he almost lived to 100 years old. He was born 1920 and died in 2012, December 11th.
It's beautiful, beautiful music.
Indian sitarist, composer. We all know about his work with George Harrison and how he brought sitar to the mainstream America. And the West really started with his collaboration with George Harrison. He was a nominated member of Rajya Sabha, the upper chamber of the Parliament of India. He continued to perform until the end of his life, and he's got so many accolades. the Polar Music Prize and 5 Grammy Awards. He toured the world. I mean, we could spend all day talking about what he has done. One of my favorite
Amazing
albums is
music,
Passages with him and Philip Glass. But we're going to play the Song from the Hills. It just seems like, when someone does Song from the Hills, it's about the spread of that music going out. Like you're at the top, goes through the hills, the valleys, and spreads out. So that's why I wanted to add that to the playlist. And it's a beautiful song. Also, James Garner, the actor, was born on this day in 1928. Wayne Rogers, the actor, 1933. John Oates, you know him, the rock guitarist and lyricist from Hall & Oates, was born on this day in 1949. And come on, he's done so much music. He is a guitarist, but also has co-written many of their top 10 songs, including Sarah's Smile, which is about his Daryl Hall's girlfriend, Sarah Allen. She's Gone, Out of Touch, You Make My Dreams, I Can't Cover That, No Can Do, Man Eater. I'm sorry, but Man Eater is going on there. Listen, it's about girls today, so we're going to be man eaters, and that's in the playlist.
I love it.
And Adult Education, he's done lead vocals on so many more singles, including they actually did a remake, You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin', from the 1965 song by the Righteous Brothers.
I love the Righteous Brothers.
Yep. Oates was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2004. 2004 and 2014 was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Daryl Hall and Oates. His memoir, Change of Seasons, was published in 2017. So happy birthday to John Oates and everyone celebrating their birthdays today, including Hugh O'Connor, the actor, who was born in 1962, Russell Crowe, the actor, in 1964, and we want to celebrate everyone's birthdays. Every day is a celebration. Happy birthday to everyone celebrating their birthday. Thank you for joining us here on Big Blend Radio's Big Daily Blend podcast, and you can follow us, Acast, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, you name it. Just at YouTube, it's at Big Blend Radio. So thank you for joining us, but also just keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. And remember, no housework today.
No. Don't do it.
Say no to the broom.
Say no to the dust cloth.
Say no to the dishcloth.
Just say no.
It's Friday. And even if you have company for Easter, say no.
Yeah, wow.
Just saying.